evening, Raven Sun natives. I'm here to give you a special kind of read, introduce a new energy to the Broad Coven channel. We are going to be looking at Native American Indigenous astrology, where you are assigned a zodiac birth totem. And this is for those born September 22nd through October 22nd. Libra, of course, falls under this domain in Western astrology, as do a very few of you Virgo cuspers, okay? So if you are a Virgo that was born on the 22nd, you find your way into the Raven zodiac. So this is going to be very interesting. We always bring in a read first and foremost to kick off any new reading series at Broad Coven for the solar return sign, and so that just so happens to be you, Libra, and so you're first off with this introduction into Native American zodiac astrology, where we look at different animal totems that symbolize the signs, and you are assigned Raven, sometimes designated as crow. It just depends on the tradition, okay? And there's a whole, different vibe to this kind of read. This is only if you are a Libra Sun native, okay? Born September 22nd to October 22nd. Or if you happen to be a Virgo born on the 22nd, so you get to just kind of like, just barely slide in there, right? This is not for if you have any placement. That's another thing that's very different about this kind of astrology, is it only deals with sun sign. It's very specific to birth date. It has no care or concern for, other placements in the chart, all right? For your other placements, you can still look at Western astrology, all right, if you're going to pair it with this type of astrology, or you can just consider this to be a little additional information that helps to like round out your viewpoint of what's coming in for you. We're going to look at several different things with this read. We're going to look at left-hand path. We're going to look at the good red road, right-hand path. We're also going to get, just some insight into the magics that you'll be working with. And this is for a fall preview, what's in store for you this fall season. I'm really excited to bring this in. I'm working with the occult deck. I'm going to work with the angel deck. I'm going to bring in my playing cards, and I'm also going to bring in some arcane bullshit just to get tapped into some overarching archetypal imagery, all right? And I'm really excited to dive into this and just explain a little bit about what it means to be born as a Raven birth totem. And you're actually part of Butterfly Clan. You share that with Deer and Otter. Those are two other zodiac signs. Deer is, Deer is Gemini in Western astrology, and Otter is Aquarius in Western astrology. You're also very compatible with Owl, which is Sagittarius, and Salmon, which is Leo. You'll probably find that these are different signs, characters that you frequently find showing up in your soul tribe. These are people that come into your life that you either share deep affinity with, or they bring important lessons, or there's just always something significant about the contact, okay? They're part of your soul family. So you'll often find resonance with these people. Your birth moon is called the duck's fly moon, all right? It's when the ducks start to fly off, they want to get to the more warmer areas because there's a certain chill in the air associated with your season. Your season is considered the month of dead leaves, so that says a lot about your sign in general. You're really here to teach the grace of letting go, of trusting, of moving in harmony with natural rhythms. Bottom of the deck energy, 7 of Swords for the left-hand path, returns items and punishes thieves, reveals hidden treasures. I feel like you're about to have something returned to you, something that was stolen from you unjustly, Raven. You are always good at finding missing objects. We know that ravens, if we study them in the wild, they like to collect little baubles, little treasures. This is very much in alignment with Raven medicine, actually. Raven sign is actually very connected to magic, tend to be natural sorcerers, natural magicians, in some cases, natural witches, okay? Just born with a natural proclivity for magic. You have the gift of prophecy. The clairs tend to run pretty high in Raven people. Usually clairvoyance is very high, as is the ability to predict events. You're very much in touch and tapped into the elements. You work a lot of elemental magic. You're also very in touch with all the nature spirits of fairy front and center. Some of you may also find yourself drawn to like the stone people, the water people. You may be very in touch with the winds, in particular the west winds. West is your direction, air is your element. But earth also comes into play. It really depends on the traditions, and this can vary from tribe to tribe, all right? So this piece is very important to consider when looking at native astrology. You also are really adept at kind of having a foot in both worlds. In many tribes in particular, it's seen that Raven is the spirit guide that also comes along to help be a companion to the shaman, to the medicine men, to the medicine women, to help them in doing their spirit world travel, to help them ride the hedge, to Merc ride, to have a foot in both worlds at the same time. So you probably do a lot of retrieving information interdimensionally. Time travel, time hopping, Merc riding, all of these energies are very front and center, and just something that comes quite naturally to those who are born under the totem of Raven. Your mirror is Aries, which is considered the falcon or the hawk, and you tend to have a natural affinity with that sign. They are companion signs to you. They're able to highlight certain things for you, highlight certain strengths for you, and vice versa. You'll also notice a lot of synergy with Aries, just that they can be a very empowering connection for you. So usually when you have an Aries cross your path, or a hawk, a falcon cross your path, these are people that are there to help impart some kind of empowerment in your life, give you some kind of strength, and you play the same role in their life as well. You show things to each other that you could not see otherwise, that you could not witness otherwise. Your psychic power comes through very strongly, and this is something that can be enhanced by working with a particular mineral. Your power mineral is azurite. You can also connect with jasper as well. That can be helpful for this. It helps you with your Merc writing, okay? It helps you with that work where you have to do interdimensional psychic travel. If you're doing astral projection, if you're doing any kind of lucid dream work, if you're doing journeying work into dream time, these are minerals that can help you just stay grounded through that process, stay empowered through that process, and also really in touch with your psychic power, so you don't stumble and fall when you're traveling in those zones. And this is something that we need to be mindful of, because the challenge for the Raven clan is they do get lessons on their path about learning how to wield power wisely. They usually learn these lessons from first taking a fall on the left-hand path. They do have to learn the pitfalls of operating out of the shadow before they really know how to wield the power of the light. It's almost like they got to get burned, you know what I'm saying? They got to get burned in that process, and in getting burned in this process of their seeking for the light, which is sometimes at first it can come through as a distortion. The thing is that those born under the sign of Raven, they have a natural proclivity for the occult arts, and they tend to be drawn to the occult arts from a very young age. They find them fascinating. They always feel a connection with the natural world. They are what you could call natural magicians, natural witches. It's just something that's in their blood. It comes very natural to them. But along the way, they can kind of get to this place where they can go a little too far into the shadow. You see, there's still the necessity to have this balance. It's still a theme that runs through for Raven, much as it runs through for Libra. And much as it does for Libra, that many people misunderstand about Libra, the balance that Libra has to hold is not in between trying to make up their mind. It's not like this bumbling around to try to figure things out. The balance that the Libras need to develop is, how do I hold shadow and light in equal proportion? So there's the maintaining of the natural balance, because we know in the natural world, this natural balance exists. Yes, Two of Cups. How do I hold this in balance so there can be harmony, so there can be peace, there can be unity? There's still this diplomatic side to Raven. There's also a very intelligent side to Raven, just as there is with the Queen of Swords, who represents Libra in traditional tarot, okay? This is about causing the love of women to men and men to women. Yes, this is what Raven desires, for everybody to get along, for everybody to have a good time. Raven tends to be very optimistic. Raven tends to be very inspirational. Raven likes to make connections. Raven likes to have fun, you know, Raven's spirited. So naturally they want everybody to get along. And much like a Libra can have the propensity to sort of like want everybody else's happiness over their own, do what they can to smooth over any ruffled feathers just so everybody can get along, while their own needs kind of fall to the wayside, Raven can have these same proclivities, okay? But there's this need to find the balance. And I love how this comes out, you know, with the Two of Pentacles exemplifying that. It's, yes, there's this emotional desire. There's this higher spiritual ideal. And some say that Ravens can be a bit idealistic to a fault. You know, they have this higher visionary view of what life should be, how people should be able to relate with each other. And they hold this ideal very close to their hearts, but sometimes the reality doesn't really measure up to that, right? And so there can be imbalances that develop. And so it's this constant juggling act. So along the way, in learning how to really hold the light, okay, hold the light, they have to learn how to hold the light without going too far into the ego, you know, where they can have pitfalls and they actually tend toward the left-hand path a little bit more. So you'll find that there's a lot of those born under the sign of Raven that have been burned by the occult arts on one level or another, or they have dealt with some kind of nemesis in the occult arts. They've had some kind of challenger on their path as they themselves stepped into the role of alchemist or sorcerer, medicine man, medicine woman, shaman in their life. Everybody relates to this energy in a different way, okay? But there's always some kind of theme where at some point they've had to tussle with somebody in this way, you know, and they've had to overcome it. And through this, they learned a lot of lessons about how to wield power wisely. Also, the responsibility of holding that power. First, you got to get your fingers burned, man. That's just the way it goes. I feel like this is very much about finding a balance that bridges the past with the future. It's also finding a balance that helps reconcile friends and enemies, all right? And this is a piece that always must be mindful of when we are looking at the sign of Raven, that there's always going to be this opposition, okay? Because Raven is here to bring the light forward. In fact, Raven brought the light forward. Raven brought the fire forward. This is one of the gifts. It's one of the stories that's passed down among different tribes. And a lot of Pacific Northwest tribes and the Inglet tribe, there's the story of how there was the desire for the powers that be to steal the light, to hoard the light, and Raven took it upon themselves to fly up to the sky and to steal the sun. And it was said that initially Raven had all white feathers, but when Raven went up to steal the sun, to reclaim the light, which is a noble pursuit, you know, they had to steal to get it. You know what I'm saying? So they had to be a little crafty. They had to use their wiles. They had to move a little to the left to get things right. But when they took that sun in their beak to bring it back down, to give this gift of light, to give this gift of fire to the people so the light could be reclaimed, the soot from that hole left in the sky where the sun was tainted the white feathers of Raven and turned them black as coal. And also the feathers got singed from the heat of the sun in the beak. So there's this story of metamorphosis, you know, of being burned by the darkness, of being burned and being marred and sort of wearing this different tinge, you know, in the auric field as a result of what has been traversed. Let's look at it that way. It's like a bridge between this great divide, you know. So there's always this challenge with Raven. Sometimes the nemesis has been within. It's just the natural desire to play with shadow, you know, to understand the shadow more, because there's a depth to Raven, and you can't really understand the light. You can't really grok the light until you go very deeply into the shadow. Then you understand the true nature of the night, of the night. Okay, that wanted to come through. Nighttime does tend to be a very delicious time for Raven because of this, you know. There's a familiarity with darkness, but there's also the way that the darkness can enamor, the darkness can lure in, and then the light can be stolen, all right? The light can be stolen back, and then you end up in this perpetual kind of like push-play dynamic, right, where the light is being stolen. Now you have to go and steal the light back, okay, instead of really being in this center balancing point of being able to hold light and dark in equal measure, allowing shadow to inform the light without it taking over the light, and vice versa, not turning a blind eye to the reality of the dark nature that is part of existence, because they are two sides of the same coin. You can't have one without the other, but we don't want to favor one more than the other either, because then we also move into a place of imbalance if we only look on the bright side of life. If we only wear the rose-colored glasses, then we don't really look at the true nature of things. So this is about understanding that nature is both cruel and kind, right? That there's times of fallow and there's times of harvest, that there's times of loss, there's times of gain, there's times of sorrow, there's times of joy. And it's this duality and being the center balancing point within that, which a big key for Raven is to be present, you know, to find that state of emotional balance where there is not the pull between the extremes, to find that point of balance that is found through moderation, which can be a challenge. That's what this Two of Pentacles is all about. So there's a lot that you can learn from the past, you know, that can inform your future. And also you're heading into a time right now where you're going to find a lot of reconciliation, okay? So there's going to be people that are going to be coming into your life this fall. Some of these people are old friends or people you haven't seen in a long time. And they're coming around because there's some kind of karma to be balanced out. There's work for you to be engaged in with each other. And a lot of this can be very positive. There can be a playfulness to it. I'm looking at this figure here. Eamon looks half lemur, half snake almost, okay? So I feel like there is this playfulness to it. And in some traditions, lemurs, monkeys, primates, they can be intermediaries when you do any kind of journeying work where you're really heading into the underworld to do that subterranean work and integrate different aspects of yourself, sometimes on soul retrieval, sometimes just to call back certain powers, certain magics. You may be doing a lot of journeying work. This might be something you start to explore more deeply this fall. I feel like you're doing a lot of integrative work. I feel like there is a playfulness to it. I think there is a spiritedness around being reconnected with old people. I also think that some of the people that you are reconnecting with are people that you've had a falling out with, or maybe people that have challenged you in some way in the past. Maybe you viewed them as an enemy at one point. Maybe you feel they betrayed your trust. Maybe there was animosity present before, but now you're coming to some place of healing. And there's this promise that there can be this reconciliation in these cases, that you can come back to this place of love. But it's also about knowing how to find the balance, okay? So not favoring the darkness over the light, you know, and being able to really bridge the gap. How do you bridge the gap? By coming into that place of your instincts, really trusting your intuition, okay? You have a keen sense of intuition, Raven. You have a lot of insight. You have this sensitivity. You pick up messages on the wind. And the wind's going to be talking to you more. Notice as you start to tap into your birth totem, you're going to notice that the ravens speak to you more. The crows speak to you more. There is a similarity. Both deal with karmic law. Very much still those same energies in play that come in play with Libra, the energies of judgment, the energies of justice, the energies of the Queen of Swords, the energy of exercising that Ace of Swords, which is the air element, okay? There's also this piece of like, not my circus, not my monkeys, okay, that's coming in. Raven really strongly dislikes drama. It's not something that appeals to them. They want harmony. Now, there are times when Raven will kind of like take a back seat and let other people have their way. As I'm talking about this, there's blockage in the throat chakra, okay? They'll kind of like suppress the piece that they want to bring in because they feel like if I bring in this piece, it's going to cause all kinds of disruption. You may have spoken a truth recently that wasn't too popular, Raven. You know that's a truth that you held in for a long time, and it may be a truth that made you some enemies, okay? So do be aware that some of the people that are coming towards you that want to balance things out, they have a bone to pick with you, Raven. It's going to be up to you to really listen to your intuition, because this is one thing that really challenges Raven sign, and that is they will often question their decisions. They'll question their discernment, and that's because they really do want to see the best in people, and they really do want to believe the best in people. They tend to be natural optimists, and to a fault, you know, and they really want to believe when somebody tells them that I didn't mean to do that back there, I'm really sorry, and this is what's happened. They want to believe that people are being honest with them, okay, because they really value this loyalty. But they can want that so much that they can ignore their own intuition. They can ignore the red flags. They can ignore that alarm that's sounding off inside of them that's letting them know this isn't quite right. So you really need to pay attention to what is coming through, just on an intuitive level for you, all right? On an intuitive level for you. This is very important, because you can want to bring that light into people's lives. You can want to light their fire. You can want to inspire them. You can want to rouse people into action to move forward in empowered ways and gather this group of people around you where you all uplift each other. I mean, this is very much like a Raven type of vision. But some may be there just to burn you, okay? And you do need to be aware of that. And remember that story of the sun among the Inglet tribe and the Pacific Northwest tribes. Remember what happened when Raven took it upon themselves to restore the light. They paid a great price, okay? They paid a great price. But there is a white raven prophecy that says that the white raven will return when the people become spiritual again. So a lot of raven people do feel called to certain roles where their work involves the area of communication, and they do share their messages. A lot come as messengers, and they come to awaken and stir the spirit of the people and to provide the inspiration so they can light that fire, you know, so they can call forward that light in people. You just have to be careful as you're navigating this terrain, that despite how much you may want reconciliations and healing, that you in proper measure do keep in mind the shadow aspect, the lessons that you learned in the past, even as you call in the light to these situations. So easy does it, a lot of tempering, a lot of balance, a lot of sensitivity, a lot of staying in touch with what you are feeling, and also knowing what's important to you and having the courage and the heart to really bring that forward, all right? Very important. In matters of love, sometimes Raven can be seen as fickle. It can be seen as a birth totem that changes their mind frequently, or maybe has a lot of different choices they could make in the area of romance. And it may seem like they don't take things seriously, but it's actually quite the opposite. It takes Raven time to make a choice in matters of the heart, and that's because when they give their heart over, they are 100% in, all in. Like they will give their everything to that person. And they very much appreciate monogamy. Most Raven, okay, this of course is, as with anything, there will always be exceptions, but in general, most Raven types, they long for that one true love, that one great love. They long for that one great soulmate love story where you just spend eternity with each other. They have this bit of romanticism to them, and they really do want this very deep, very soulful one-on-one connection. This is how it is for most Ravens. Again, there will always be exceptions to this, of course, but in general, this is what they would prefer. And I would say if looking at a polyamorous dynamic, just because I do like to consider all different lifestyles on this channel, this would be, even if you had that kind of lifestyle, you still want to have that one, like, you know, that one ride or die that really holds it down, that one special, your main one, right? You know what I'm saying? So this is something that's very important, and you're very discerning about making that choice, because you know that once you give yourself over to that, there's just no end to your love. Your love is completely unconditional. Your love is pure. Your love is true. You won't step out on your person. You will not cheat on your person. You will be devoted. You will be loyal. You will return their loyalty with spoiling them in the bedroom. The Raven likes to be very sensually gratifying to their partner in gratitude for their loyalty, their devotion, you know. So this is something that's very important to Raven, this kind of trust, this kind of intimacy in matters of the heart. So I feel like you're really going to be weighing a lot of this out with the people who come to you, because it does look like love is coming in. I'm also noticing here that, yes, right behind this, look what we got. We got the 10 of Cups, and we have the Ace of Pentacles to the Ace of Wands. Oh my. Yes. You got love coming in, okay? And your shadow could potentially trip you up. It could potentially trip you up. I think you're transmuting some funny business. I think there's been some juggling. There's been some games. There's been a little fuck around and find out going on for you, Raven tribe, okay? I think that there's been some things that have been going on in the love department that haven't felt quite right. I think you feel like there's some stuff that needs to be emotionally digested when we're looking at that alligator medicine there. Again, it's something that's going to take some time and some balancing out. You do have somebody coming towards you, though. They feel very passionate. This is going to come towards you in the fall. I'm seeing Saturn energy here, okay? So this could be somebody that has a strong Sagittarius placement. They could be an owl, okay? On the native zodiac, they could be an owl. They could be a Sagittarius. They could also have a strong Capricorn placement. I could see that too. We got Ram energy here as well, so they could be Aries. These are just possibilities, okay? Aries would be hawk, falcon. We know that you already have a natural affinity for falcon or hawk, as well as owl. So I would say this could be a Sagittarius. This could be an Aries, factoring strongly, but Capricorn could definitely be coming into play. I'm not sure what totem Capricorn is. I will learn. I'm learning more about this with all of you. I'm really excited to dive into this. But this is somebody that is going to come towards you. They feel a deep affinity with you. There's an attraction there. There's sensuality there. This is somebody who wants to learn holy secrets, and they want to learn holy secrets in the area of the sensual arts. This person also knows how to instruct in the means to make weapons and with the art of seduction. So they're very versed in these methods. You know, they're very versed in art and war. This could be art and war. I said, that's interesting. I didn't mean to say art and war. Maybe their means of seduction, their means of war and seduction. Maybe seduction is their war. Maybe they bring in a little bit of amusing energy. This could be somebody who is very creative. You know, maybe they got a lot of pull in that regard. They can kind of weave a little spell over you. They could be a musician. Okay, this is possible. They could be a musician, or they could be in some kind of other creative field. You might be very stimulated by this creativity. they might also be a muse for you and you a muse for them. So there's kind of like this mirroring energy going on, and bringing that in, especially with the Aries component, with the hawk component, since there's a natural mirroring energy there, just for that energy to be imbued here. I think it's going to factor into this situation. There is something here about whoever this is that's coming towards you passionately, that wants this new beginning in the fall. There's a very sensual component to it. I also feel like there's a little war edge. It's got Helen of Troy vibes, if I'm going to be honest with you. There's a little Trojan horse vibes there. I think this is somebody that maybe did betray you in the past, or maybe there was something that felt suspect. So you might be a little concerned. You might have a difficulty opening up to this. At the same time, you might feel a real draw. You might feel this affinity. This could be somebody that you could take things to the level of alchemy sexually. This could be somebody that you could connect with on a tantric level, all right? And I think this is something you are going to explore with each other eventually. I think there's a process to go through with this. It comes through in a genuine way, though. It leads to the 10 of Cups. This is ultimate fulfillment. We got stag energy here, okay? Cernunnos energy as well, creates love between man and woman, creates thunder and great storms, gives answers on divine secrets. So we see that this is a very spiritually oriented connection. There's a lot of mutual spiritual empowerment that comes from this connection. This is a deep soulmate connection, all right? I think that this coming together, it's like a storm. It's like a quiet storm brewing. You may feel this coming. We know you're sensitive to the winds, okay? So you can feel this rumbling on the horizon. You can feel the rumbling of the thunder people, calling this in. And there's also something about this coming together, this uniting, that it brings a bit of a tower energy, like a revelatory tower. Maybe it surprises you. Maybe it blows your mind. Maybe it also brings you back to a time when you had a disruptive tower with this person. So you might be healing certain issues around trust and themes of betrayal, things of this nature, okay? But it looks like there's a lot of growth here and a lot of spiritual connection. And there's also some Fool energy. There's also some Sacred Clown energy with this Ace of Pentacles. This new beginning, I say this because look at this character we have here, holding that new opportunity. He's got the sacred hoop of life. He's got the jester energy. He's got his medicine bag, his little bag of mojo, his bag of tricks, and he's ready to head off on a new adventure. So we know this new adventure that comes in with this person, it's not just a new adventure in terms of your connection or your reconnection in some cases. And it's not just the beginning of a relationship and an unfoldment process, 33, 23 on the clock, okay? Building block for the future. It brings a change into your life. It's almost like this person comes in when they finally do arrive on the scene, which I see will probably really reach its full fruition in the springtime. I do feel like there's some interaction coming in with that rumbling, the news of like the thunder coming in, rolling in, the storm. That makes me think that there's going to be first like some kind of clearing of air, some kind of communication. I think you'll enter into communication with each other before there's an actual physical result that comes forward from this. But it really is coming through as a way for you to come into power with each other. And it's going to give you certain gifts, certain treasures. Success makes one rich quickly. So maybe there's something also that with your coming together, this creative force, this musing energy seems to be there very strongly. Maybe the two of you are like wonder twin powers activate. You connect with this person and you create something. What you create, it brings a gift forward to humanity. It gives a gift forward in the world, something that enriches the lives of other people. This could be through something creative. This could be through making music. This could be through making art. This could be through something you bring forward and you share together that creates a shift in consciousness. So this can, come through in many different ways. Many different ways this can come forward. But it looks like it brings a lot of richness into your lives, okay? Certainly materially is in the main frame here. But I don't think that's just it. I think there's a lot of spiritual growth, a lot of spiritual richness that comes through here too. Now we got these cards as well, so let's see what we got here. Yes, you very well could be dealing with a Sagittarius. We notice this character is in reverse here, okay? They come in with the Nine of Swords. I think this person is really in their head. They might have a little anxiety. They might have a little concern about how best to approach, how best to open up this conversation. It could also be that this person comes forward during Sagittarius season. Okay, so look for this like November 30th through, you know, that midway point of December. All right, look for that to come in. It says that in the past there was a lot of battles, there was a lot of wars with this person, and there's some old wounds that have been just like kind of putrefying. They've been needed to be tended to for quite a long time, and this hasn't been addressed. I think this person's been hung up. I think this person's been putting out fires. I think this person's had their own battles to fight, and they didn't want to add this complication to the mix. So this could be part of the holdup, right? I'm almost got like hanged man kind of vibes, like they're kind of at the crossroads right now doing some cleanup work. They know that this needs tending to. They know that there's stuff that needs to be addressed. They know that it's been sitting for a while. You know, the situation is such that these wounds have started to putrefy. They would call that coup in certain traditions. It's when something has just been left to just rot and spoil, maybe an opportunity. Maybe they're afraid that they waited too long and this opportunity is passing by. What is this crossing influence? We have judgment, okay? So this person may feel like they're under judgment and they're not sure how things will go, but it looks like things will work out. It says distributes promotions and high offices and causes one to be liked, okay? So I think they're going to do just fine. I think, you know, Raven does tend to be pretty forgiving by nature. If somebody is accountable and if somebody's willing to like meet them in that space of really holding power and working through challenges effectively, I think things can work out. And with judgment on the scene, well, Raven, that is one of your cards. So I think you'll be receptive to this energy. And I think there's an opportunity to work things out here, okay? It comes in with the number 68, which is 14, which is 5. So we know there's a sudden change that comes in this situation. Again, we have kind of this goat energy coming through as well. There could be Capricorn. It also gives me Ram vibes. There could be Aries. These are the three Western astrological signs I'm picking up. We got Hawk and we have Owl that I'm aware of as far as native birth totems are concerned. Owl being for Sagittarius, Hawk or Falcon being for Aries. I'm not sure what Capricorn is. I'll have to find out, okay? Very interesting, okay? So we see that that's what's going on in the left-hand path. So we know that your challenge that you have to be aware of is not having too much of what happened in the past affect and tinge your perspective as you work to get reconnected or work through these issues with this person, that this can be a detriment. All right, that there's something that needs to be looked at in a new way. So there's definitely the need to not have your rose-colored glasses on, not be unrealistic, not bypass the work that needs to be done. Don't be impulsive. There is a lot of, it looks like there's a lot of passion involved in this situation, whoever you're dealing with. Those signs could also be coming through as seasonal markers too. So you could have something go down in the springtime because that would be that Hawk time of year associated with Aries. You could be dealing with something going down in the late fall, you know, during that Owl time, during Sagittarius season. You could be dealing with something in the winter time, you know, with Capricorn leading into January. All right. So it looks like things are going to get cooking for you. It looks like things are really going to start coming in late fall. And just keep your wits about you. Stay balanced. Remember what you learned, but don't let it mar or influence things to the extent where you miss an opportunity. Because it looks like this energy is meant to come in and there's something beneficial here for both of you. It looks like a lot of spiritual growth. Bottom of the deck energy here, King of Pentacles. I mean, this energy is really turned around. Whatever offer comes through, whatever beginning is here. I really see that shield is representing that Ace of Pentacles. It's legit. This person is exercising truth, okay? They've cut off some old behaviors. This energy is evolved and they're showing up in a very real way. They're committed to the process. Coming through as King of Pentacles. It says obedience causes harmony and peace and calms anger in anyone. So there's this piece of, if you give this person the opportunity to communicate with you, to say what they have to say, you might be surprised. You know, you might be surprised. But if you're too soft into the shadow element, and if you're still feeling like residual anger, resentment, that can cause a problem. But I have a feeling that whatever this person brings forward and whatever you work out through, you know, just interacting with each other, moving through the challenges together, that anger will be quelled. Any like fear or doubt you have, it's going to be resolved. So just take your time with this process. This person could also have a strong earth sign placement, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or there could have been a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn connected to the situation. Maybe this is something that does need to be ironed out. Maybe this is something that needs to be resolved. All right. This piece coming in here. So now we're going to look at what the angels have to say about this situation. What advice do the angels want to give? Raven, native sun, those born September 22nd through October 22nd for the fall season. What do you want to bring in for Raven, native sun angels so they can be aware of making the wisest choices at this juncture? Well, in reverse, you have the Eight of Swords. So this is excellent. You're setting yourself free. You're not feeling victimized. You're not trapped anymore where you did have self-imposed limitations. You freed yourselves from that. I do get that you recently released some bindings, some ties that bind. You might have released some relationships. Some of you picked up the thread of some spell work and you started unraveling it. You knew that somebody had been kind of messing around with you on the ether and you resolved this situation. Says truth and justice, protection from enemies who would steal one's fortune. Yes, I think that you know that somebody was trying to prevent this from coming towards you, this opportunity, this healing, this reconnection. It's something that's meant to come in for you in whatever level it's coming through. Yes, it could be coming through romantically. It could also be coming through as an opportunity. It could be coming in as a new potential, you know, something that's going to lead you to a higher rung of the spiral in your life. But it comes through connecting with this person. And it does feel like somebody got a little too in their ego and they tried to block this from coming in. I'm getting with this Eight of Swords being in reverse that it was through some kind of binding work, some kind of blockage work, some type of control work. And you unraveled this, you know, it's sort of like off with your head. You may have even called it out. Okay. This was good. All right. This flipping this energy up, reversing it. I feel like it's game of Uno right now. It's coming back around. Whoever was working on this level, they're now having to own those actions. That's just the way it goes. The piper always needs to be paid. You know, I don't really understand these kind of workings. I mean, I get it. When I was younger, when I was a teenager, I messed around with some stuff a little bit. You know, that's what you do. You get a little too big for your britches. You want to learn about power. You know, you kind of get into the fantasy of it, and then you do a few things and you're like, ooh, you know, that's not all it's cracked up to be. Some people come to it later in the game, you know, and they have to learn those lessons as adults, and that's never a fun lesson to learn. It can be a little intense. Okay. So, you know, I think that this energy might be coming back around on this person. Yeah, with that comes the Eight of Wands. This is coming back around with a quickness. In fact, I think you're going to see this roll out within the next 2 months. And just as this person is kind of having to own that blocking energy, it was 44:11 on the clock when I brought this in. There's alignment happening for you, okay? Something was really held up for you. Somebody was interfering in your situation. They were creating some kind of blockage. They were creating some kind of deception that was keeping a party in this situation feeling very bound, very stuck. Could have been through magical binding. Also could just be through manipulation, not revealing certain information, misleading another, putting another in their head, making them feel insecure in some way, or like they didn't have the ability to act. But we see where things were stuck, they are now moving forward. We got the Eight of Wands coming in here, okay? So this is a lot of communication coming in. This is a lot of getting on the same page. It was 44:55 on the clock when I said that, okay? So big change coming through the ending of this cycle of being held back. It starts a new beginning in a new direction. It brings with it spiritual gifts. And there's building blocks for the future here. There's something you're manifesting together. And the two of you coming together, these two forces coming together, there's an empowerment that happens here that also opens up like a portal of abundance for you. There's something you're creating together. It's really cool. There's a lot of creativity that's coming through here. What else comes in here? Yeah, 3 of Cups in reverse. See, this is what was held up. There was no healing that was happening here. This was a great disappointment for you at one point. And you probably thought that this was never going to be recovered. You probably thought that there was never going to be any kind of reconciliation. I feel like you're in a healing process, Raven. For some of you, it's with a partner and you had something come in between the two of you. It got you on a different page. Now you're coming back on the same page with each other. You're working things out in a new way. I think you thought this had passed you by. For some of you, you might have been dealing with a situation where maybe somebody had a drinking issue. This was causing a problem. In one way, shape, or form, you felt like you were giving and giving and giving to a situation, or maybe you felt like you were the only one who had this hope, the only one who was nurturing the situation to move towards a place of healing or move towards a place of resolution. You might have given up on this. You may have just chalked it up to spilt milk. This is coming back around, okay? Yes, and like I see here, normally when it's in the upright, it says fame and renown influences commerce, voyages, and great discoveries, but there was manipulation that was happening here, okay? So I think there was a lot of gossip. I think somebody was trying to mar the perception of you to this person or vice versa. You could have had somebody talking in your ear, maybe trying to dissuade you, maybe telling you why it wasn't a good idea to heal with this person, talk to this person. It could be working on both levels. I also feel like there was a lot of dissension that was just spread through people meddling in business that wasn't theirs to interfere with. This may have even affected your finances. There could be a business piece here for those of you who are in business, and maybe you suffered some kind of unfair loss financially due to bad PR, people spreading rumors about your work, people talking down about your work, people plagiarizing your work, people interfering with your work on one level or another. There's something here, but we know that things have been blocked, you know, and this at one point was a big disappointment, but it's coming back around. Something is turning around here. Yeah, we got the 8 of Pentacles, okay? What was holding it back is there was some kind of workings done. There was some kind of manipulation done. Somebody was working very hard to keep this held at bay. They didn't want to see this move forward for whatever reason. It's not really important why. We don't really need to be concerned with that. But we see that you're getting knowledge of this now. And the communication that comes through, you interacting with this person, what I get is it's going to be a meeting of minds. It's like, oh, well, I heard this. Oh, well, I heard that, you know, and through it, you're going to kind of like sort things out with each other. And then you're going to understand what was going on, okay? And then once you get through all that, you can kind of just clear that, you know, we can clear that all away, bring it in the selenite. Let's just wipe away all that old story. We're clearing away all that old energy, okay? And then you're going to turn the page. You're going to turn the page and you're going to move forward, and there's something new that is kind of like birthed out of the space of this new awareness between the two of you. It's something that you can actually work with the 8 of Pentacles, okay? So this is really good energy. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and do a round of these playing cards here. Just see if there's any further information that wants to come in this situation for Raven Sun natives. So it looks like you're doing some healing work. You're reconnecting. I think maybe with multiple people. I don't feel like it's just one person. I am feeling that there is a romantic story in here, okay? So there's a lot of you who are coming together with a romantic soulmate. It sounds like for a lot of you, this could be somebody you were already involved with, or it's somebody that you know that you had a connection with in the past. They're coming back around the bend. I feel like if that's the case, it's somebody that you had a really challenging story with. So there's definitely something to transmute here. But it looks like there's going to be a rebuilding of trust. It looks like both people are equally committed to this healing process. So that's really good. All right. Bottom of the deck energy. Yeah, you're going to have the ability to see a new way forward with the 2 of Clubs where you couldn't see a way forward before, right? You just thought, no way will this thing ever come back around. You moved away from this for sure in the past, but it was very painfully. Like, you carried a lot of trauma in this situation. There was a great level of disappointment, but you're going to understand why it had to be like that. Something comes through that redeems this situation, and it brings about a victory to the tune of your birthright, the 10 of diamonds. This is what was held up. This is what was held up due to this third-party interference, this meddling energy. And it also really affected your personal birthright, your personal stability, your personal destiny. It interfered with your financial flow, your abundance, your prosperity, what you were meant to get. This has been held up, but it's being redeemed. Look at this. We got the theory of 11 coming in the light. You're coming into alignment with this person. There's gifts that are going to be coming in here. You're going to get this healing that you wanted, this reconciliation. And this is coming in after a time of loss when this was stolen from you. Look, it's a redemption. It's beautiful. It's a redemption. So what was lost financially will be regained. And where you had this disappointment in love, this heartache to the 5 of hearts, and this was held back from coming in, and you felt like 2 ships passing in the night, there's now going to be growth in this situation of the 7 of diamonds. There's going to be communication coming in, a lot of back and forth interaction. There may be travel involved with this. This is going to alleviate all the anxiety, all the fears, and really clear things up as these blockages are removed. And the person who sent these blockages, it's boomeranging right back on them because they were not meant to interfere in this situation with the 2 of hearts. Do you see this dividing line between the 2? This was done by force from an outside energy. This is being redeemed, okay? And this was the result of somebody doing workings to the 8 of diamonds, to the 5 of spades in the shadow. This was a very deep betrayal. This person caused severe disappointment. But we see with the 8 of hearts, this energy is being moved away from now. The path of the heart is being reclaimed. And here comes the new beginning in the fall with the Ace of clubs, all right? Let's see if there's any other energies that want to pop out around this, any further directive that wants to come in, any further guidance for Raven in relation to this matter. It looks like a pretty clear story, okay? Woo, okay. Yes, we definitely got some cards coming out here. Yep. What do we got again? We got the Ace of Clubs came out again. Another message. This is definitely coming in the fall season. You're going to have this new beginning with this individual. You are finding the balance with this person where it was disrupted. Balance is being restored. This is karmic balance. It's likely happening with the King of Clubs energy, fire sign energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Could definitely be Owl, Sagittarius. It could also be Aries, Hawk energy, because they are your mirror as well. So those are 2 strong contenders, but it could also be Leo. Leo is also part of your soul tribe too. So Leo is salmon, salmon totem sign. Okay, so very interesting. Yeah, where there was this blockage, this is being freed up, and this new beginning is coming in. This person is in the process of getting free right now. I feel like they're in this process of clearing out some stuff that has been holding them back. They're sort of like doing the last little bit of cleanup work. I feel like they don't want to bring anything into your sphere that's going to complicate matters any further. They already know there's been a lot of complication and a lot that's gotten in the way of this. Yeah, you know, this is what they're doing. They're closing this old cycle right now. It's messy. They're dealing with a lot, but they are clearing it out. They know that they want to follow their heart. They may be kind of kicking themselves right now. They may feel that they made a bad choice in the past, but they really should just get over that because that's not productive energy, okay? Now you know. Now you know better with the 9 of clubs, you know, for those of you cross watchers out there. Now you know what's really truly worth defending. You know you're not willing to fight for this old energy anymore. You know that it's been holding you back. You're releasing it. You're ending the cycle with the Ace of Spades coming up in the light, and you are completely making sure that you put a fork in this. It is done. You're closing the door on this, and you're no longer willing to deal with this situation. You're no longer willing to deal with this sense of betrayal. You're leaving someone as an ex in the past. You're shutting the door on that. And I really feel like, you know, this is a situation that you were dealing with. I feel like I'm talking to a cross watcher here, okay? This is a situation you were dealing with where because of the betrayal, this person that you've been dealing with, they made, you know, the Raven that you know go really cold towards you. This person didn't trust you at all. So this is what you're, you know, overcoming right now. You're trying to overcome these defenses that were put up that were caused by the way a Jack of Diamonds slowed everything down for you. Jack of Diamonds, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn in the shadow. Yes, they caused this delay. They caused this feeling of you being out of the loop, cast aside, out in the cold. They caused this imbalance in your life to the Two of Diamonds, where you couldn't really find your way through to get where you wanted to go, to this reunion, this reconciliation. This may have even been somebody who said they were going to help you with your Raven, okay? And they were full of it, all right? They wanted to keep this Two of Hearts separated, all right? They wanted to have this victory over you, to them to take this opportunity from the both of you, okay? I feel it's a mutual person that you both know. This individual saw this as a great victory to keep this separated, to keep this soulmate union blocked. They did. They did. And it could be because this person felt competitive romantically. Okay, water sign energy coming in there too. That would be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But this is a connection that's meant to be, with the Six of Hearts coming up in the light. And there's nothing that can stop this. It's totally being watched over. It's totally being protected by spirit. And in fact, you don't really need to do anything beyond letting go. And this is going to come through, and this healing is going to come through. I would say Raven in association to this, it's interesting, cross watcher filtering in here. I would say Raven in association with this, it's very important that you try to like thaw yourself out a bit. You may be feeling very angry right now at this point, Raven. You may be dealing with some residual effects of just like drama that's been stirred up in this situation that you've been dealing with. You may be tired of the gossip. You may be tired of the dissension. You might have gone a little bit cold, Raven. You might be feeling like, you know, you just kind of don't want to deal with anybody or anything. I would say just, you know, see if you can hear people out and get a clear view of what's been happening, because I think while you're highly intuitive, Raven, I think there's also a lot that's been going on that you're not aware of. And once you're put in the communication loop, then you'll have a lot more understanding of why things turned out the way they did, and you'll have a clear way forward, okay? It does look like there's healing in this situation, though, and it's going to work out. It's just going to take some time and patience for everything to come through, all right? So let's check it out here. Yeah, bottom of the deck energy, we got the dildo wizard, okay? I think this was interference from maybe like a couple sexual partners. This could be people you had been involved with in the past. Maybe they kind of martyred you. You can pick what side you're on with that. I'm still kind of picking up cross-watcher energy in relation to that. These people may have wanted to, like, you know, make you the sacrificial lamb, you know, they might have gotten off on that. It's got like kind of exes interfering in your new love opportunities. It's got this kind of vibe of like kind of cock blocker energy. Yeah, oh my goodness, King Fancy. King Fancy, yeah, I mean, these people tried to steal the keys to your kingdom, and you almost lost the plot, man. You almost lost the plot. But I think you're trying to figure it out now, and I think things are starting to become a little bit clearer. And I think you're having another think about things. You don't want to necessarily lose this opportunity. You feel how close you came to losing it. I think you're in the process now of making your enemies your footstool. I think Spirit's going to help you with this. I also think that the people you were dealing with were sleeping around a little bit with the penis weasel here. You might want to be careful. If you feel like there's any health issues that you need to be aware of, you might want to just have that looked into. Maybe go and get a test, go and get a screening before you're intimate with anybody. That applies on both sides, Raven, before you get down with anybody. Make sure you both have a clean bill of health, especially if it's been a long time since you've had that checked out. Cut of the deck energy, card of cards, of card of cards, of card of cards. You're about to go through major initiatory gateway through relationship, and it's a whole new world